Here you will watch the deconstruction zone's coward by the name of Justin run from the king yet again when it has come to the past claims that this fool that has no idea what it is that he's talking about has made. You will watch him literally run for his little livelihood here, the charlatan that he is, the coward that he is, and you will also look through the chats and see the planted pretenders in the chat literally state the exact opposite of what's going on, which you all better correct yourselves because, oh yes, this is the truth. Literally. You are welcome to look through the videos on my page and watch him get dismantled as he knew he has been, as he kept resorting back to stating that even if he's wrong, how would that make me the Messiah? Which again, by the very grace of God, time will continue to prove correct. Look through my sharings and you will also see further proof of that.
Move on to the next guest. We'll get Nathan in here. Anyways, we'll get Landy Christ in here. Judas is asking, where can I buy Doug merch? I want to support Doug. If you go to the Discord in the link tree of my profile, you'll find in our Discord community, there is a section of the Discord where there is a merchandise shop. And you'll find Doug merch in that merchandise shop. So that's where you want to find your Doug merch. You can even just get stickers too. I've got a sticker of Doug right here on the Bible. And so that's where you want to get that. And Mac, thank you so much for all the hats. I really appreciate that, Mac. Big W. All right, Landy Christ, welcome in. Landy, is this our first time speaking?
No, we spoke briefly once before, Justin. Now, when I say that we spoke briefly once before, it's because Justin couldn't last 5 minutes before he began running. And this, where many of you see that he will speak with somebody literally 4 hours. And again, when he feels that something's pressuring him, he'll then just try to run. So though I was answering in regards to the last time that we literally spoke, when it comes to what he says next here, our quote, deconstruction zone's Justin shows what a liar he's turned out to be.
I think I recognized your name.
Correct. Justin.
Awesome.
Now this pretender just showed that he really can't help but to lie, which is no way to begin a conversation if you want to end up on the right foot in face of the truth. As you're about to see in a moment, he actually blocked me after I let him know that I have addressed a multitude of his nonsense claims on his lives, pretending to know our truth, wiping myself with his quote degrees and seminary school when it comes to this subject. But after I completely dismantled the claims of one of the other little punks running around here in this quote deconstruction zone community, and that person afterwards becoming aware that I did the same thing to Justin, Justin then actually went back and unblocked me, as this is how we're having this conversation. Now you'll see at the end of my last sharing, dismantling both him and another person that goes by Godless Engineer on the nonsense claims they were making. But you're about to see that Justin blocked me and then, of course, obviously, went back, looked me up, and unblocked me in order for us to be having this conversation that you're watching and listening to now. You simpletons are no match for the king. Literally. Now I will be looking to contact this quote godless engineer and let him know of this sharing. I would do so when it comes to Justin, but it looks like he will have to come about it another way, being as once more, like a little coward, he decided to try to block me, like a punk, ultimately. And by the way, that very word coward, he who definitely would never say such a thing in person, casted the first stone in trying to call me such a thing when I let him know of the last video titled Destruction of the Deconstruction Zone. And just as you see here, my last message could not be sent due to that user's privacy settings. As again, now you see the type of lying pretender you are dealing with here. But even with that being said, I wanted to move on to the subject at hand, which is indeed our proof of God, and also addressing where it is that this child has been nowhere close to put an end to his lies.
Justin,
Awesome.
I know that the gentleman before me just may have taken off some shock factor here, but I not only am the actual Mashiach, but if you're interested in an actual fight tonight, I'd like to address some of your past claims, buddy.
What I'd like for you to do is demonstrate that you're the Messiah.
Sure, anyone can look through my full-length sharings and I demonstrate that fully.
Yeah, we're not doing that. Do it right now.
All right, well, for example, just one example for in the moment. If you look at Genesis 1 verse 1, there is a total of 28 characters, which is the fourth hexagonal number, and ultimately
nobody cares.
And as it will only become all the more clear that it is God itself that reigns over the four dimensions of time and space, these heights that we are now reaching by the grace of God brings to mind four words which were the dawn of the precursor to the text message, to electronic mail, Morse code, which read, "What have God wrought?" A highlight of the height of technology at the time. And God, being the creator of what is both original and also the most innovative, I, being the very line of Christ, the Mashiach, has come with the introduction of gifts which represent a full circle, and Eden to Eden, which represent the evolution of the human being, and ultimately the full circle of the angel.
What we can say about the Mashiach is the Mashiach, in a certain way, to use a term from biology, from evolution theory. The Mashiach is definitely, in a certain way, a new positive mutation of mankind. It is like a quantum leap of humanity to a new place. Almost to say that a new species of mankind is appearing on the scene of reality.
As here we will see how this gift from God is indeed holy, which means to be set apart, special, as again it is the glory of God to entrench or to hide a thing. It is the honor of queens and kings to seek them out. And we are now at a place in time where we see that every bit of our world has been fine-tuned to reveal and to harness this very gift. The alignment of the discovery that in fact our DNA is a fractal antenna able to pick up electromagnetic fields, including the ranges of radio frequency, overlaying with the holding that when Mashiach, which means Messiah or Christ, comes, that the radio channels will be a different scene, a different vibration. And again here, we are now in a time that we know our very DNA channels radio frequency.
Of the world. And the first thing that happens when Mashiach comes is that all of the radio channels, it's all a different scene, a different vibration.
A part of the holistic process of picking up those radio frequencies is the newly discovered the fourth phase of intracellular water structure, which is used for energy and also to store and transmit information. And just as that fourth phase of intracellular water structure is a hexagonal structure, this overlays with the first verse of Genesis being 7 words made up of 28 letters, which is the 7th triangular number and the 4th hexagonal number, overlaying with the 4th stage of intracellular water structure, and being a perfect number is a signature of the kingdom of heaven being within you. That 4th stage of intracellular water structure being a crystalline substance perfectly overlaying with God encoding the entire Torah in a crystalline substance.
New interpretations of the text now suggest the entire Torah was encoded into a crystalline substance, not necessarily a crystal, but a crystalline substance that fit into the palm of a single hand. And when the Ark of the Covenant is revealed and made public, we will see that is the case.
Along with the 4th stage of intracellular water structure, and our DNA being a fractal antenna, the physioelectric processes within our body due to the microcrystals within our brain allow for the picking up of radio frequencies, which is showing to be the precursors potentially to telepathy, as you see an example of here.
We do know that Earth's magnetic fields affect everything from our mood to our ability to learn. Even stranger, research has begun to prove links between the electromagnetic field of our planet and psychic abilities. Could these crystals act like tiny antennas, connecting our brains to each other and to the entire planet? This is Dr. Michael Persinger, a neuroscientist who has argued that all phenomena, including consciousness, spiritual experiences, and even paranormal events, can be explained by physical mechanisms, and they can be verified using the scientific method. Since 1971, he has been researching electromagnetic field effects upon biological organisms. And some of his recent studies sound straight out of a sci-fi movie. Dr. Persinger has shown in the laboratory that magnetic brain stimulation can create mental states conducive to human telepathy. A recent experiment placed two people at a distance in different rooms. Each was surrounded by an identical computer-controlled magnetic field. When a light was flashed in one subject's eye, the person in the other room showed responses in their brain as if they saw the flash of light. As Dr. Persinger stated, we think that's tremendous because it may be the first macro demonstration of a quantum connection, or so-called quantum entanglement. If true, then there's another way of potential communication.
Now, being blessed with this gift from God, the agencies that have been looking for this activity are needing a transcranial magnetic stimulation device, and I do not need such thing to pick them up due to this God-given gift. And now you see with all the more depth the portrait of the Mashiach painted by this prophet, as we'll listen to it one more time.
What we can say about the Mashiach is the Mashiach, in a certain way, to use a term from biology, from evolution theory, the Mashiach is definitely, in a certain way, a new positive mutation of mankind. It is like a quantum leap of humanity to a new place. Almost to say that a new species of mankind is appearing on the scene of reality.
We're talking about prophecies tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to?
No one cares about that.
Okay. Do you want to address some of your past mistakes? Because you've been on here talking junk and you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm asking you to validate that you fulfilled the messianic prophecies. Which prophecies did you fulfill?
Now we'll see that Justin has a little bit of brain fog when it comes to just earlier in this very same live. That and a mix of, again, this charlatan's up here just in complete dishonesty and in way over his head with me. In his desperate attempt to run from his corrected claims, overcome by his fear, he has made the mistake of completely contradicting his definition of a prophecy that he explained in a previous conversation with an angel he was talking to in this very same live conversation. You'll notice how this lying pretender was trying to utilize it at the time to put her in a corner, when ultimately all he did was get lined up by God for me. As you are about to see, even with what we saw before, it was still completely stupid to even ask me what it is that I have fulfilled by his own definition of a prophecy.
My God,
All right, before you get carried away on your script, what is a prophecy? Definitionally, what is a prophecy?
A prophecy is something prophetically speaking by the Holy Spirit to redeem or give information of the coming of Christ, or Messianic prophecy is coming of Christ.
We'll try this again.
So this is why I was going to
prophecy is a prediction for the future by God, from God, or information about the present time that otherwise wouldn't be known. A prophecy is a prediction for the future. It's when God talks to his prophet and says X, Y, and Z is going to happen, and we know that they're talking about the future because they're using future tense language. The words will happen lets you know grammatically that something's happening in the future. If I said a thing did happen, that means it happened in the past. That's not a prophecy, that's called a history. I'm asking you to validate that you fulfilled the messianic prophecies. Which prophecies did you fulfill? If I said a thing did happen, that means it happened in the past. That's not a prophecy, that's called a history.
As you see now how completely asinine it was of this clown to ask me what prophecies did I fulfill. Now, on top of including the light shined earlier on the portrait of the Mashiach by the grace of God being realized through me, the fact that I am the true line of Christ, that history is the fulfilled prophecy of Jeremiah 33:17, that there shall never lack a man from the house of David, a descendant, a son, to sit on the throne of the house of Yisrael.
Listen, I didn't say that they're finished. I said I am the Mashiach.
Yeah, but how do we know that you're the Mashiach if you didn't fulfill any prophecies? If I said a thing did happen, that means it happened in the past. That's not a prophecy, that's called a history.
It's not finished yet. And by the way, I will make you...
So you didn't fulfill any prophecies then, did you?
First and foremost, it'll be by beheading your claims, which you're running from right now. Do you want to defend...
I'm asking you right now to demonstrate that you're the Messiah.
I'm going to. That's going to be by beheading what you've said on here. Are you ready or not?
So you're not going to demonstrate that you're the Messiah, because it could be that I'm wrong, but it doesn't make you the Messiah. So I want to see, what is the evidence that you're the Messiah?
Yes, you didn't want to hear it. You just said it. You're running from it, in fact. But if
I literally just told you, even if I was wrong about my claims, that wouldn't make you the Messiah. I need the actual evidence that you're the Messiah.
the actual evidence will be when the physical temple is built. So this isn't happening in your chat right now, buddy. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so the evidence is something that may or may not happen in the future.
Okay, are you ready to actually listen to what I was saying before? See how you feel about it when I'm finished? I heard you a little bit ago.
So you don't have any evidence then?
A little bit ago, you were letting a gentleman carry on and carry on and carry on. Are you going to hear me out or not?
I'd love to hear you out if you're going to tell me what prophecy you fulfilled.
Hold on, we're not finished. First, I'm beheading you on the nonsense you've been speaking. Is 2 Samuel...
You're not beheading anybody. You're making a fool of yourself.
Is that so? You're not letting me finish. Are you going to keep running? Is 2 Samuel...
I'm still asking you to tell me what prophecy you fulfilled.
Is 2 Samuel chapter 24 still one of your favorite to go to try to say God is unjust?
I think God is unjust, and there's literally unjust, and there's dozens of passages, and he just ran. Okay, well, or TikTok took him.
Now here you see just how desperate he wanted to believe that somebody was running from him, and how badly he wanted to project that before seeing that, of course, that wasn't the case. So now that we have seen the coward and the bold-faced, pathological, lying depths that these atheists at the so-called deconstruction zone will stoop to, you are able to see his claims crushed through my previous sharings, as of course you saw here he was just going to run, but of course still made himself look stupid anyway. And to any of those at the so-called deconstruction zone or any other quote atheist community out here spreading lies and twisting this truth, come and stick up for this pretender whom you just saw beheaded by the Christ, once again with the sword of the mouth, the truth.